Ladies and gentlemen, this is the one they didn't want you to see, because while the media was distracting you with garbage headlines and celebrity gossip, President Donald J. Trump just made a move that was so powerful, so disruptive, it sent shockwaves through Washington, through Tokyo, and every single corner of the globalist machine. Guys, this wasn't just a win for American jobs. This was a full-blown national security lockdown. President Trump just blocked a foreign takeover of one of the most critical defense assets, U.S. Steel, and he did it while unelected elites were too busy losing track of violent convicts walking free through the back doors of our broken prison system. Guys, and now, former FBI special agent Nicole Parker is sounding the alarm, telling America what the media won't tell you. This crisis, it's already here, and it's worse than anybody ever imagined. So today, I want to share with you guys exactly how President Trump's $14 billion steel deal just sealed off a massive backdoor threat to our national defense, while the FBI is warning that what's happening inside of our prison system could lead to a public safety nightmare, and how this all connects to the same corrupt system that has been selling America out for decades until now. So you need to see this, guys, because the collapse of law and order, it isn't coming. It's already happening. And the only man that's doing something about it is President Trump. So let's go ahead and break it down. So folks, this wasn't just a business deal. This was an act of war waged on American sovereignty, and President Trump just stopped it dead in its tracks, because for months, the Japanese conglomerate Nippon Steel, they have been trying to quietly buy up U.S. Steel, one of the most critical infrastructure pillars in the country. Now, if former President Joe Biden were still calling the shots, that deal would have gone through. No questions asked, no pushback, no negotiations, just another for sale sign slapped on our national security. But President Donald J. Trump stepped in and he shut it down. Not only did he block the foreign buyout, but he turned it around and he cut a new deal that guarantees $14 billion in investments from Japan into U.S. Steel, without giving up a single inch of American control. But why does this matter? Well, because steel isn't just steel. In fact, it's the foundation of our military, our bridges, our weapons, our supply chain, and our emergency response system. During COVID, China hoarded masks, they hoarded ventilators and PPE. Y'all remember that, right? Why? Because we didn't make any of it here. We outsourced everything. Now imagine this, right? A war breaks out, ships are stopped, ports are closed, and the US doesn't even have the steel that it needs to make its own tanks. That's not just bad economics. That is a national security nightmare. President Trump just shut that down. But here's the kicker. The story does not end at the factory gates, because while President Trump is fighting to secure our borders and our industries, the prison gates are being left wide open. Now, of course, a former FBI agent just broke her silence, and what she revealed about American prison systems, this is going to leave you speechless. 2 inmates still on the loose, a convicted killer dressed like a guard, and a system that's crumbling from the inside out. Guys, we're just getting started, and I know this sounds like something from a movie, but this is really happening. By the way, if you appreciate the daily news updates, please take a second, hit the like button for the video, and subscribe to the channel. It really does help us to get the truth out to more patriotic Americans. So while President Trump is out here protecting the country from foreign control, the rest of the system, it's leaking from within. Just a few days ago, a former FBI special agent by the name of Nicole Parker, she stepped in front of cameras and issued a warning that should have been in front of basically the front page of every single newspaper in America. And she said, well, the prison system is broken, and it's worse than we thought. Understaffed, overcrowded, outdated, and that's how she described the state of America's correctional facilities. And the consequences, it's already spilling out into our neighborhoods. So let me show you what I mean. Like in New Orleans, 10 inmates, yes, 10 inmates escaped from a local jail. It wasn't a freak accident. It was a coordinated breakout, a breach of security that was so big, it was so blatant that even local officials couldn't explain it. 8 have already been caught, but 2 are still out there. And nobody wants to say how it happened. Even worse, let's go ahead and head on over to Arkansas, because in Calico Rock, the FBI just raised the reward to $25,000 to help capture an armed, extremely dangerous fugitive who's been hiding in the rugged Ozarks. Who is this guy? A former police officer convicted of rape and murder. And get this, he escaped from a medium security prison by dressing up as a corrections officer and just walking out the gate. Let that sink in, guys. A convicted killer wearing a guard's uniform, waving goodbye to staff who didn't even know the difference. Now you tell me, guys, is that not a serious problem? And where's the accountability? Nicole Parker said this is systemic, that prisons across the country are dangerously vulnerable, not tech, not enough guards, and basically we got these violent offenders that are being placed in facilities that are not equipped to contain them. Meanwhile, your family's at home. You don't even know if this guy's walking past your mailbox. Maybe he's already in your subdivision for all we know, instead of being behind bars. Folks, this is not just a breakdown in the justice system. This is a breakdown of trust. This is a breakdown of basic law and order. And the media, they're more concerned over covering Hollywood divorces than jailbreaks and national security collapses. But don't go anywhere, guys, because up next, I want to connect the dots, okay? While President Trump raises steel tariffs to 50%, sealing off the economy from foreign threats, we're about to expose just how internal chaos and globalist weakness collide and how one man's leadership might be our last line of defense. Now, you've called the 800 numbers, you've read the mailers, you've heard the promises. Still confused? That's where Chapter changes the game, guys. Leslie Taylor, she made the switch and she's now saving $1,000 a year. Sharon Bertusik lost her Medicaid altogether, but she stepped in, found her a new plan with zero premiums, zero cost medications, and copays that dropped from $89 to just $20. Guys, this is not a sales pitch. There's no pressure. It's free. Did I mention it's free? It's totally free. Just the truth and the right plan. Give our friends over at Chapter a call and see how much money you can save on your Medicare. Their phone number is 909-563-8279, or better yet, hit them up on their website at askchapter.org/Ron. I'll leave a link for you guys in the description down below this video. I want you to see what you're missing. Now, let's talk about the collusion, this collision course that no one wants to talk about or even admit that's happening. So on the one side, you got President Trump raising tariffs from 25% to 50% on foreign steel, a bold America First move that was designed to slam the door on foreign leverage, to secure 100,000 American jobs, and to make sure that when crises hit, this country can build and be able to defend itself. But on the other side, you got a rotting system so broken that murderers can cosplay as prison guards and just walk out the front door. Well, we're watching a strong man on offense while the institutions around him are falling apart. Let me put it plainly. This is not just an economic issue. This is a national survival issue, okay, guys? And the FBI knows it. Nicole Parker, she made it very clear. Human intelligence is still our best tool. Why would she say that? Because all the surveillance tech, facial recognition, and high dollar gear can't replace a system that's rotting from the inside. And you can't plug a computer into incompetence. You can't track criminals if the people paid to lock the doors leave them open. And when you combine external threats like China manipulating our supply chain with internal collapse like prison systems that can't even hold violent felons, you don't just have a problem. You have a national security nightmare in your hands. And this is what makes President Trump's move so important, because while other leaders are just simply talking, Trump is acting. And he doesn't just raise tariffs to protect jobs. He raised them to fortify sovereignty, to make it economically and strategically impossible for foreign powers to hold America hostage. And you better believe that if it weren't for Trump's leadership, the U.S. steel deal would have gone through. The furnaces would be shutting down, and we'd be outsourcing our defenses to Tokyo and Beijing. But of course, I'm going to go ahead and pull back the curtain further, guys, because I want to expose exactly who sold out America and why. President Trump's fight isn't just about steel, prisons, or politics. It's about the very soul of the nation. All right, so let's stop pretending that this was an accident, guys, right? This was no accident. Let me know if you think that this was an accident. Do you believe that? Because for decades, our so-called leaders, Republicans, Democrats, bureaucrats, rhinos, and progressives knowingly sold out this country. They offshored your job, they imported your medicine, and they gave away the right to make our own steel, the backbone of our military, construction, and energy. But why did they do that? Because it made the donors rich, because it made them rich. And now we got prison wardens who don't even know who's who. They don't know who's in their cells, inmates escaping in guard uniforms, and critical infrastructure nearly bought out by foreign powers. But let's not kid ourselves. This was never about incompetence. This was about internal sabotage, one piece at a time. You guys saw it with Obama, right? You saw it with Biden, right? And now you just saw it with every corrupt agency head who signed off on deals that made China, Japan, and the EU stronger while America fell behind. And yet, here comes Trump, a man they call every name in the book, but he's the only one that's actually doing something to stop the bleeding. So when Trump blocked the Nippon Steel buyout, he didn't just save a company, he sent a message. You don't own us, not no more. And when he raised the tariffs to 50%, he cut off the globalist pipeline and dared them to challenge American independence. And guess what? It worked. He's delivering on every campaign promise they swore he couldn't. And the same FBI warning that we're essentially facing the internal collapse of safety and injustice. Well, Trump is already taking action where it counts because Trump knows what the rest of these weaklings pretend not to. National security is more than missiles. It's manufacturing, it's law and order, it's leadership. Now, of course, I'm going to talk about exactly why this affects you more than you think. Guys, we're going to go ahead and break down exactly what this means for your job, for your neighborhood, for your family, because the system isn't just broken. If President Trump hadn't stepped in, it would likely have already been sold for scrap. So what does this mean for all of you, right? Well, it means that every time a globalist signs away another American industry, every time a prison leaks or just simply lets a murderer walk free, every time a foreign country or foreign company nearly takes control of a U.S. asset, you and your family are the ones that are put at risk. Because if we can't produce our own steel, if we don't get bridges, if we don't get tanks, I mean, you don't even get reliable electricity when disaster hits. So if convicted killers are roaming free in the woods because our prison systems are crumbling, well, your neighborhood becomes the next crime scene. You see how this all plays together, right? So let me put it as plainly as I can. You can't outsource national security. You can't offshore public safety. And you can't fix America by trusting the same corrupt politicians who broke it in the first place. The cool thing or the good thing is that we do have a choice because Trump didn't just talk, he delivered. He stopped the steel sellout. He raised the tariffs. He put the brakes on a national security nightmare while the media pretended that nothing was wrong. And yes, the FBI is right. It's worse than we thought. But now it's being exposed and the American people are waking up. So here's what I want you to do. Drop a comment down below, guys. Do you believe President Trump's moves are enough to fix what the globalists have destroyed? Also, like this video if you're tired of watching America get sold piece by piece. And also, subscribe and turn on all notifications because we're going to keep pulling this curtain back, story by story, every single day, all right? This is what it looks like when a real leader fights back. This is what America First really means. And this is just the beginning, guys. Stay sharp, stay free. Be sure to hit the link in the description down below this video. Reach out to our friends at Chapter. See how much money you can save on your Medicare plan, and we will see you on the next video. Take care. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below.